Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to this week's penultimate episode of Starblade Battalion Memories. I will be your host for the evening, your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. We're going to go around and let you introduce yourselves and let all of my wonderful players just say who they're playing today. So why don't we start with, apparently people moved, but I can fix that. Why don't we start with, PB? Or, well, actually, no. Lynn, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I am excited for this. Vantage is probably mortified and worried that she's gonna burn every bridge with her family and just start scenes. Yeah, I'm playing Vantage Lightning. We're in one of the youngest recruits for the Starblade Battalion, and oh, brother's wedding should be fun. Hmm.
I'm sure it'll be an absolute blast of a party. Next up, directly
Ooh.
below Lynn, we have our wonderful Eddie. How are you doing today, Eddie? Are you alright?
Oh, it was a wonderful day. I went on a bike ride. It wasn't like scorching hot like the last couple of days. And tonight I'm excited to be playing Rowan Rex Rossi, and see what happens. Because there are things that that could happen at a wedding.
So many things could happen at a wedding, and we hope you enjoy the wedding as you attend it.
With mechs.
And then next to Eddie, we have PB. How are you doing today, PB? Looking forward to this wedding?
Hi, I am very excited to attend this wedding. It's been a while since I've been somewhere high society, so it'll be nice to be among clean people all the time instead of
What are you trying to imply? What?
people who are stuffed in a tin can for the majority of the year.
Yes, I could see how that would be more exciting. Thank you for being here again, and I appreciate your The wedding will be absolutely everything you could possibly imagine.
Wedding.
Perhaps. Next up, hey Pope, how are you doing? And have you decided whether it'll be groom side or bride side?
That's a in the moment choice. Again, I kind of object to this line of questioning, but no, I'm excited to be here. Adam less so. Uh, Both he and I use he/him pronouns, and it's just that kind of day where you have to attend the wedding of two of your exes. We're getting married to each other. Really don't like you. No, wrap on in, folks. This is the kind of day we're having.
Yes, I'm sure it'll be a wonderful day for a wonderful wedding. And, it'll be absolutely perfect that your attendance is here. I'm quite sure that they will enjoy your presence. And then last but never least, hello, Lindy. How are you doing today?
Oh, me. That's right. I'm playing, not the cat. Hi, I'm Lindy, and I will be playing Aurelia Princess Ludus Sterling, and she is from high society, and she is excited about this wedding. Less so about like possible murder plots. She's just excited to get out to a social event again for the first time in a while. I mean, of course, there's work that needs to be done, but also, when was the last time she was able to bust out her nice gowns, like her really nice dresses and shoes? She's excited. She's excited about this. And yeah.
Yes, and this is definitely a wedding where one dresses to impress.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I'm not keeping that voice the whole time. Sorry, y'all.
I was like, is this a new standard practice is tossing down here? I'm digging it. It's like a radio voice.
I mean, I could keep it going for a while if you really needed it to, but no, it's not going to happen. Hi all, you know me. I'm at Praxagor. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, Praxagor Thesmophoria, as you see me around here on Twitch, and I get to be the wonderful host for this evening's events. And don't forget, we will be having a giveaway of the Mechton Core Rulebook and Mechton Plus Rulebook from our friends over at Artel Saurian. And later during the break, so stay around and chat if you are here for the opportunity to win those. And we are going to start a little ways ahead of where we left off last week. Last week there was some conversations between the crew, some discoveries, some realizations that perhaps the divorce papers that one had received weren't actually from one's husband's attorney and were perhaps a coded message of other things to be concerned about. Other people received conversations from their best friends about surprises that they wish their friends to participate in for their significant others. There was the realization that someone was missing on the boat. And then, I guess, dissection of a stuffed unicorn to provide some discoveries and information that perhaps someone was a little bit not who they said they were. Attempted murder plots, assassinations, and really, Leo is worth it. Literally 6 figures. But in the end, the captain informed Rex, and through Rex, the rest of his team, that they were going to drop early, and their shuttle would be leaving early because there was an anomaly, or he was concerned about something. Didn't really explain what, but there was a concern. And then we're going to fast forward a little bit. A shuttle ride is a shuttle ride, really. It doesn't do a whole lot beyond, well, get you off of the very large ship and closer to the spaceport. Around Soligen Prime. Because where else would one have this wedding? In the Pleiades. The Seven Sisters star cluster. The 5 of you are docking at the moment with the spaceport and begun disembarkment procedures. I have a question for each of you. I know that Aurelia and Princess and Lightning are both attending under their own names. Separately, and they both have +1s. Rex and Leo, are you attending under, and Watcher, are you attending under your own names this event?
Yeah, I am.
By the way, this is to get you through security at the, immigration, basically. That's the important question.
I'm trying to think if Rex is the kind of spy that would have a pseudonym, or if they would go by their normal name, like a James Bond.
See, you have that option. I'm too famous.
I mean, I was an extra in one of your films, so I'm
It's
pretty
true.
well known. Like, there's a cult following. No, anyway. And then on the socials, people are watching my trash art. But no, let's see. Yeah, I think I would go under my normal name. So Rowan Rossi. We're gonna see what that happens.
So Rowan. So entering Sologen Prime, we have Vantage Moraine, Aurelia Ludus Sterling, Rowan Rossi, Calix Mitsley.
Given everything that was sent and precisely how Cassandra orchestrated things, there is no reason to hide here yet. Let them know I'm on planet. They're probably expecting me.
So, you arrive. You arrive through the spaceport. It is. Well, it's the spaceport for Sologen Prime. Busy, people moving in and out. Picture Hartsfield Jackson on a Friday at 3 o'clock when all of the business travelers for the week are going home. You've got those, those who are doing their in and out, flights moving every hour, every day. The press of humanity, admittedly, the security lines are a little bit shorter in Sologen, but that's mostly because there's a lot of automation. There are a whole lot of droids and full members. You would see a number of AIs as security and moving around this vast open space. You can look out into the horizon and see the burgeoning curve of Sologen Prime, and just like every terraformed planet in the Corp worlds, from a distance it looks as blue as Earth. But it's different. The lights are different. There are more of them, for those of you who are Earthers. The population of Earth is, well, the cities have definitely become problematic in these times. The arcologies are where people stay, and there are vast spaces on Earth that are just uninhabitable. But here, it's the spread of humanity and the promise of future. The lights twinkle in the darkness. But you make your way through security and immigration. No one bats an eye. It's all very rubber stamped. You make your way to the exit of the spaceport, and there is a large flickering neon sign floating in midair in the middle of the hallway. With the words Moraine Cult Wedding and an arrow pointing to your left. And it cycles through this, guests for the Moraine Cult Wedding to the left, and it cycles through this in every language that you could possibly think of.
Shall we then?
Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, I think there's a moment where Rex looks around to see who's watching, a little bit, just to kind of gauge how many eyes are on us. That said, for point of clarification, who here is dressed for the wedding already, or are we dressed in? Okay, yeah.
Wait. Aurelia is going is arrive. I mean, you've arrived like 12 hours before the wedding, or
Yes.
24.
Okay. Well,
I mean, like you're.
maybe not dressed for the wedding event itself, but she's dressed for the wedding, if that makes sense.
she's
She has
dressed to
like
be-
4 different outfits.
Okay, I was like,
Got it.
Over
I was
the
like,
course
you're
of-
traveling in what you're wearing to dinner.
Yes.
I'm like, Aurelia.
No,
come
no, no,
on.
no. There's obviously like the evening dinner outfits, the ceremony itself outfits, and then like the hi, I've been traveling for this event.
Yes, the paparazzi expected outfit. Yes, yes, yes.
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 You
so
have to look good coming out of the spaceport. You can't just,
to go into that, I would like to hear what everyone looks like as we're walking towards this wedding party, and I will start. So I've got a I forget the name of the pattern. It's this one. If you all can help me, but essentially, a blazer that has a black base with a blue highlight, a long black lapel with a dark undershirt, form-fitting, and a golden tie that has a shine to it that has various rhombuses and geometric shapes all pieced together in a very beautiful pattern. And then so basically like all black underneath with this blue blazer and the golden tie, and their hair up.
So
Normal.
like a brocade or a jacquard.
I don't know which either one of those are. You're hitting the limits of my fashion knowledge. But yes.
Okay. And as you make your way stylishly and fashionably through the towards the location where the transportation for the wedding has been achieved. It's a no, it's a brocade.
What's a brocade?
A brocade means that it's the picture that you posted is a brocade.
Got it. Okay.
Or
Okay.
technically, actually, it might be a jacquard because it's the dark on dark rather than with multiple colors, but it's brocade and jacquard.
So it's the layering of contrasts and colors.
It has to do with the fact that that's technically embroidered in the weaving of it, and it has layer.
Oh,
it's actually
got it.
layered.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
there's a texture difference. But yeah.
Cool.
Yes, it's very
Okay.
fancy and appropriate. There is, as you make your way through, a number of security. Very obviously, there are a large number of security, a very large number of fashionable people. If you are keeping an eye out, however, anyone who wishes may roll me awareness notice.
Yeah. I mean, I already said that. Uh-oh. Why can't I scroll? No. Oh, there we. Oh no, roll 20 is being painful.
Yeah. So, Watcher with a 16, Princess with a 19. You both notice the uptick in security. Oh, and a 31 for... Yeah, there we go.
Holy shit!
That's what happens when you double
Sorry.
crit in this game. Welcome to a...
I mean, it's narratively very apt because Rowan was like, I said that I was looking.
Yes, you
So
are
that
actively
works.
looking. You are moving through and you glance at... All three of you will notice the uptick in security, both human and in AI Borg. Watcher will notice. Watcher and Rex are both going to notice something that Aurelia is not, and this has to do with where Aurelia's from. Watcher, you will notice that there are a number of these human security in full black, black suits. The poor, as we call them today, those poor people, those poor young men who are deaf in one ear and speak into their wrists. Those level of security, although they don't actually have to do this motion anymore, it's still one of those things that you just... a number of those you see are very obvious. You have the very obvious ones, but you also see a number of the black on black. But the thing that Watcher and Rex will notice that Aurelia will not is a couple of those individuals, just based on the cut of the suit and the way they move. Rex, for you, that points out. For Watcher, it's because you're used to seeing it. Those are full Borg security.
And those are cybernetically enhanced full...
No. Those, when we say full Borg, those are people who have literally... basically, the only thing that's left that's fleshy bit is their brain.
Got it.
And even big chunks of that isn't anymore because they can put skill chips in it.
Got it.
Put it this way, let's slap the good percentage. They are 90% inorganic.
Yes, that makes sense.
They are 90% inorganic, and they usually... Perhaps if one was playing, if you were dealing in certain earlier portions of this particular timeline's history, there might be concerns about such things as cyberpsychosis. And those are usually the individuals who will have, they have replaced their arm with full mechanical, and they probably have a rocket launcher, or maybe, rippers, or perhaps wolvers, or both, or all three. Maybe a shotgun. All of these things.
Monoblades, or...
I know, those are probably... That's true. There are a whole bunch of things that you could have for cybernetics. Those are full... Totally. Those are people who are... 90% of them is no longer human. It is, and from Rex, your perspective, that would be a big... you would be like, that's my biggest threat. That's like...
It's kind of like when you gauge the room, you're like, red, they got skulls above their head,
Ooh, it's like, ooh.
Yeah. Probably. If you were to think of this as a video game and you were kind of walking through the security in a video game, these are mooks that have names.
Yeah.
Not just goblin. Rex will also see a number of... You see a number of paparazzi. Rex and Princess will both see the paparazzi moving around through the station.
And I try to draw as many of their attentions as
Would you love to roll me
possible.
a grooming and style then?
I would love to roll you a personal grooming and a style. Or personal grooming or wardrobe and style. Which one? Or both? They're separate in this one. Unlike Witcher, they're separate skills.
They're separate skills, and actually they will get you two different things.
Mm-hmm.
So which would you like to roll?
Ooh.
So Rex's initial thought was to actually subvert the paparazzi, but probably gets a look from Aurelia, and then knowingly
the more people who notice Aurelia, the fewer they notice maybe y'all. Yeah,
and so I'm thinking I basically do an eye glance at all the named mooks, and say block vision with a hand signal that Aurelia knows, because we've gotten in mischief as kids.
I think because we're coming off from just traveling. I think wardrobe and style is to be more expected here than, because I haven't had time to freshen up from the journey of the arduous trip through space, but my style could still be on point, hopefully. So,
let's be real. Princess probably freshened up, but to her standard, this is not freshened.
Yeah, that's so true. 18.
18. You definitely have just posed in the right moment of that point between the two LED overhead lights where it doesn't look like entirely deathly on you, and
Yes.
just perfectly framed in that shot where that overarching glass window that makes absolutely no sense on a space station is probably a major hazard.
Yes.
Because there's a
But
thing
the
called vacuum.
aesthetics, though.
But the aesthetics, major thing called vacuum, enough that it can be framed just right that the curvature of the planet rising behind you does a perfect shot for the paparazzi who start taking pictures. It's just, you see as you're moving through, you would definitely see a lot of this going on. Rex, you notice there are a number of personal security teams that are not being so you see a large number of these individual security and a large uptick in the full Borg. You see all of these, but then you also will notice that what you notice that no one else does is there are personal security teams who are not being bothered at all by the security of the station. Like, you see a guy who you just know based on your training has a full submachine gun under the jacket he's wearing. And he's not being stopped at all by security. And there are a number of these small teams moving through.
I would imagine that there's probably one of the paparazzi shots has like a shadow of Rex's face behind Princess, and like that spreads across the interstellar webs. It's like, and the cult following is like, oh my gosh, is there something going on between like Aurelia Ludus and like the whole like fan base of some of her cult classics, because they saw me in one of those films.
And the dinosaur one, yeah.
In the Dino film, and they're like, wait, is that extra or that like that lowly lieutenant?
You were like that guy who was able to tame the velociraptors that everyone thought was really cool.
Clever girl. No, anyway, except I didn't die. Spoilers. No. But yeah, as like that shot gets taken, I feel like there's also kind of a hurry that Rex is ushering for the group, and for our internal comms, like our team comms, is that something that we can do sub vocal, or is that something that we have to do vocally?
If you have a inbuilt radio system into your cybernetics, it would be sub vocally.
But
if not, otherwise it's external.
Vocal.
Yeah, okay. I did not invest in that because I didn't realize that was a thing at the time. Okay, so I think then there's just like the motion of Rex is to get people moving, and kind of glancing at the dangers that they've spotted, and not to linger here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you get that from Rex's body language in general.
You can, as you make your way through this moving your way through this whole to the location where there's a portion of slightly moved out of the way to the side of, around the corner and to the side of one of the little luggage carousels kind of thing. Not that any of you are picking up your own luggage. There's Rosie for that. But there's a tall individual of indistinct presenting gender, long dark hair, Chinese features, not would look at home in any, Chinese period drama, but you aren't quite sure if they're, not chosen to present in any particular manner or gender. Well-fitted black suit with a long, thin filament tie of just, taking that 31 Rex, you would say is definitely probably, the suit itself is doubling as a armor jack. So. And they have a small, tablet with a projector that as they're ticking off people and gesturing people to a number of little doorways right to the next of them. And the group in front of you has moved off, and there's no one right in front of them, and this particular person looks up and... Moraine Colt wedding.
I think Rex looks at Vantage.
Yes.
Names, please?
Vantage, Maureen.
Ah,
Rowan Rossi.
yes. Vantage Moraine and +1 Rowan Rossi, and then looks to, does a little tick mark with their, push, just taps the tablet, or they're holding in front of them. And the then glances to Aurelia what is Aurelia wearing in this outfit?
Oh, so as Rowan noticed last week, Rosie was painting, just redid the nails in a lovely champagne color, because, when you have a robot to paint your nails and carry your luggage for you, you can get your nails done all the time. So, of course, the arrival day is champagne because, it's a happy celebration color, perfect for a wedding. And it's a very thin, almost see-through type of slip dress. Very comfortable for travel. It's got a slit up the legs, you can cross your legs, whatever. Be comfortable on the spaceship. Comfort's important when you have a long weekend event in front of you. And it is metallic, and it's just enough that when she stands behind a light, you can see outlines of things, but not so much so that it would be scandalous or inappropriate. It's just very couture. It's some designer dress from, Venus or something. And her hair is done up, but, not fully done up. It's half done up, I could finish the rest at the hotel kind of hair. But it's definitely, she's looking good. She's looking stylish.
Shout out to Venetian fashion.
Mm-hmm. So this individual then glances to Aurelia and waits.
It's fine. Some people live under a rock.
No. Roll me human perception.
Okay.
And you would get a +1 for this.
Oh, +1.
Mm-hmm.
20. 30, 20.
You are very aware that this individual is that level of hospitality industry. They know exactly who you are, but they are not going to fan about it. They're not going to make a big deal about it. They're just going to treat you like every other guest. That level of professionalism.
That level of... Well, at least they got professionals for the wedding. So she'll, casually lean, of course. Perfect posing for the paparazzi while she does so. Aurelia Ludus Sterling.
And your companion.
Oh, yes, my +1. And I'll just, beckon Leo over.
Calix Mittley.
Indeed. And just clicks the thing, and you see, you would all see, a little flash of, that red light flash, there's a notification that pops up when they make the note. Your sister has already disembarked, and along with her husband, are we to arrange? They wished to request a meeting at the bar at some point.
Of course, I would love to see my sister before the wedding.
Yes, and I would definitely love to see them. It's been so long.
I would love to see that too.
And kind of turns to Watcher.
Looks at the two very important women in front of him. And
You mentioned Watcher standing next to
just
Rosie.
gives this guy the look of really, like, looking at the two of them, and then looks over at the security off to the side, and then blinks at him. Figure it out.
They don't say anything, just name.
Adam, for all intents and purposes.
Makes a note. Nods. Gestures to the left. A little sliding shuttle door. Picture the original sliding whoosh, on the original Star Trek series.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's one thing that I really miss about sci-fi series
Yes.
is, like, there's no whoosh on the door. There needs a whoosh. But this door whooshes. It whooshes appropriately.
Yay.
And they step back, and again, just nod as the, like, opens. And, you know, you've all been to spaceports before. You know that this is probably, like, the interplanetary shuttle, right?
Mm-hmm.
To take you to the, you know, from the spaceport to the planet.
Yep, right on aboard. Like, I own the place.
Ooh.
No hesitation.
Yeah, I think there's
Just-
definitely that too. And I bring Vantage with me if they weren't already making that motion.
Yeah, I think she's used to this. This is how her family rolls, so just to go with it.
So yes, this would be very common to what you're used to. It's not a surprise in any way, shape, or form. One thing that you would notice is that the minute you step on, it is sleek white leather, dark woods, more than just a shuttle. Picture the height of private transportation. You know, Tony Stark would appreciate this. I mean, the only thing he would be upset about is that it's missing a stripper pole, but, you know.
Which version of Tony? Because that's old Tony. New Tony, family man. Oh, okay.
It's Tony frickin' Stark. Look, Pepper may have made sure that he stayed married. That did not mean that the man got rid of the stripper pole.
The pole is
Those
now
are two
activated
different
with
things.
nanites. Thank you very much.
Yes, it. You don't need it immediately. It's only when you activate it. Yes.
Yes.
Clap on stripper pole.
It is a very sleek, curves everywhere, dark woods, white and browns, bar, but no, a couple seats, but no, you know, seated around in little seating corners, but nothing like so blasé as like bench seating or something like that. And as you get in, as all of you proceed through the door, the doors behind you, and you hear over the intercom, "Thank you for participating in the Xavier Moraine wedding. This shuttle is provided by the Ritz. We hope you enjoy your stay. Complimentary beverages can be found in all green-marked locations. Please enjoy your ride. And off you go.
Is there a check for me to like determine if we're being listened upon and things like that? Like, would this be security systems?
Either... It would depend on how you're doing it, right?
Yeah, I want to do it subtly because I don't.
If you're
and
doing it
unfortunately, I don't.
subtly,
I
it
don't-
would probably awareness notice to see if you can notice something like a bug that might be listening to you.
Yeah.
If it's security systems, it would, it would be something like determining how the setup works. But I would start with awareness notice.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. This is like. I'm gonna toss in a little bit of luck for that. Okay, I got a 19.
You are 99% sure that any monitoring that's going on is the general monitoring. It's like, it's not.
There's nothing extra.
There's nothing extra. It's the, it's the general safety monitoring that would be on something like this. You don't have to worry about it. It's like the Amazon Echo, right?
Yeah, we don't think anyone's like actively watching us.
No,
or
you don't
anything
think
like
anyone's actively watching us. If you called out for the, it's like, if you called out for the stewardess, or flight attendant, you'd get some service to come through, or if there was like,
Right.
monitoring for emergency stuff, but nothing like that.
I think Rex just looks to the group and says, "I wonder what beverages they are offering today."
I was just about to ask Calix, darling, if you would check to see what beverages are available in the nearest.
It was a long journey.
Considering Cassie's taste, it's probably going to be vodka and gin. Though, if it's Xavier's taste, it's going to be whiskey, sour mix, and maybe some IPAs.
Oof. I mean, I do like a good whiskey. Don't get me wrong.
Any non-alcoholic beverages in there? I should probably not.
I think there's more.
Yeah, so I think there will be a perusal of the beverages and
Yes, we were like, oh, complimentary beverages.
we were just on a long trip. We could definitely use a little beverage. Rehydration, as it were.
There is, of course, a couple very shishi gins. I don't drink gin, so the only thing that's coming to mind is
Again, your higher ends. You've got your Bombay sapphires.
Yes,
Yeah, no,
Bombay
no,
Sapphire is
but
pretty good.
the tea. Oh god, it's gonna bother me. Hold on.
Oh,
Most of the drinks I would drink are
Tanqueray, but no,
Tanqueray.
but Tanqueray, the high level Tanqueray, the
Yeah.
one above Bombay Sapphire, there's of course your your
Artisan ginger beer. So you can make
artisan, yes, and of course your craft vodkas.
Oh my goodness.
There's
Some with a infusion of jalapeno to give you a little kick.
there's a number of flavored vodkas as well, and just because it's required and it'll be there and it's that kind of level, there is a bottle of Chopin sitting on the bar, like at the top shelf, to just sit there. # not sponsored, but just saying.
You want to sponsor? No. Yeah. So I believe I think after a long ride, Rex will be cautious, but encourage everyone to rehydrate.
Mm-hmm. There are a bunch of Perriers,
Ooh.
some limonata if you desire, arancina. But It is not a long flight. Well, in comparison to what you had.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour.
I get like the Perrier, like the fancy sparkling, fancy flavored water, but I put it in like the cocktail glass
Mhm.
so I can feel fancier. And that's what she reclines and sips for the hour.
And just as the hour is upon you, literally just an hour, we thank you for traveling with us, and we hope your stay at the Ritz is everything you could possibly imagine. Please disembark on your left.
I was
You realize that the transport has stopped and you didn't feel it at all.
It's like those bullet trains in Japan. They were so sneaky.
Gravimetrics and
Yeah.
mechanics.
Yeah. I was gonna say, just for snarkiness, Rex would look to the right to see if like what was on the right.
Oh, if you look to the right, there's a vast star field to your right.
I see.
I would not recommend disembarking to the right.
Or if you do, let us all disembark to the left first.
Well, I think there's a moment where Rex just looks out to the starfields and admires it before they disembark. With their drink in hand, take one last sip, put it down, and head in to the left.
And what, just out of curiosity, what's the order of disembarkation, just so I know?
If Rex is going, Vantage is going to follow right after.
Mm-hmm. Princess will disembark. She'll try to be the first one to again draw the attention away, possibly, and just stride out with chatting with Calix. All the meanwhile, just small talk.
So we know what Princess is wearing to this, be noticed. What is Leo wearing to be noticed at this moment?
Leo is wearing a long, well, I was gonna say long flowing, but that's redundant. A flowing pantsuit with a very striking blue and white, just very light shirt, light button up. Her hair, which is usually a very messy blue color, is slicked all the way back to really bring out her facial features.
We totally got selfies in the tram too.
100%.
Yes.
All over future Instagram now. Her makeup is very much just pointing out all her very sharp features, and she's just she's going very much for like, very flowy, but also like if looks could kill sort of deal.
Indeed. And as you disembark, you would both notice there are no paparazzi at the door. This is the Ritz, people. You see a number of very pointedly, dressed staff. All of the female presenting employees have their hair pulled back tight, small bun at the nape of the neck, if it's not like just a short bob. Black, either pantsuit or skirt suit. Male employees the same, very close cut, everything very neat and ordered. All of them have chirons, and all of them, visible chirons, and all of them all have, their right hand all has very visible those gloves, those robotics gloves that you can put on that go over your hand, so you have like each digit as it bends forward, interacts almost as if you're playing the piano, and it interacts without you not having to actually touch anything. They're all wearing one of those. They're all standard, very uniform. They have a small, LED badge that kind of like portrays their name, and there are a couple you kind of can determine without even having to roll for it. that they're ranked based on, color of tie that they're wearing in their little suit outfits. They're moving people, greeting guests, moving guests here and there, whatever. One of these, in a, pencil skirt just above the knee, sensible black heels, female presenting women with dark blonde hair and kind of very indeterminate features. Could be anywhere from Eastern Europe to Western Asia, somewhere of that kind of intermixation, approaches you and Miss Ludus Sterling, Miss Moraine, Miss Mitzley, Mr. Rossi, attendant. Rephrase. She doesn't actually. She acknowledges Watcher, but doesn't call him anything. And if you all follow me, we have your sweets prepared for you. Miss Moraine, your parents have requested that you might join them for afternoon tea in about 3 hours in the tea house on the 50th floor.
Oh, of course. I'd be glad to make it.
Miss Mitzley, your sister, has requested the opportunity to inform you that she will be here and perhaps taking an after of the martinis at 4 o'clock at the lounge. We can't hear you.
Of
Muted.
course. I'm muted. No. Wait, I'm muted?
Now you're not.
You're good now.
Okay.
Yours a weird moment.
Of course. Thank you for informing me. I'll make sure to meet her.
And she then just turns and hands Aurelia a piece of heavy cardstock,
Like vellum.
almost gold embroidery, gold filigree around the outside that kind of shoots colors in just the light as you see it, the metallics. And, hands it directly to you.
I accept it and look at it.
The back has Argento's personal seal upon it. Darling, I hope you are so absolutely gorgeous as I dream of you each night. And this letter finds you just as well as I believe you will always be. And just so that you know, I will never forget the important things. Happy anniversary. Aurelia, could
Yes.
you roll me awareness notice?
I would love to. I should just have a little. He remembered. As she reads it. 17.
There's definitely a little chuckle from Rowan.
As you read it and you kind of get to the bottom, you kind of smile and you just smell the faintest hint of his cologne.
It would be undignified to huff this letter right in front of all of these attendants. So she doesn't, but she'll fold it back. And thank you.
Not enough it's like somebody's that old perfuming the letter, but
Mhm.
just enough like it was in his presence long enough to actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Noted.
And the receptionist, for lack of a better term, attendant, guides you to the elevators, and that's when you realize that you are in a low orbit space station arcology.
Fun.
I think as we're walking, there's a moment where Rex looks to Watcher. Whether or not they share the glance is up to Watcher, but like going through his mind, he's like, well, no one called on us.
You walk through like this small greeting point, and you realize that this is the greeting point for the shuttle.
Mhm.
You know, it's like being greeted at the valet of the underground garage at the high-end hotel. It all looks very the same. It's very nicely appointed, but it's not the hotel. It's just, you know, parking. You're being greeted by the bellman and a receptionist at the parking, you know, valet. You come through and you open up, and it's these. You realize that it's tiers of balconies around a central courtyard, and there's just, you smell it before you even see it, this hint of gardenia and jasmine. These tropical plants growing all through the space. You hear the sound of water running as the water feature, and you realize you're in the ground floor of this these balconies, and they kind of has this long hallway that proceeds, you know, you come out in like kind of the middle and it goes to the right and to the left. There are a number of shops right around on this floor, kind of like, you know, oh look, there's your Louis Vuitton, and then over here you have your Cartier and your Tiffany, and you know, a number of these places that are just kind of along this promenade. And you look up, there are all these balconies that look over this promenade, and at the very top, looking up, you can see it's probably, again, at least 50 stories tall, because you see this arched dome that kind of comes over the whole promenade, and it of lighted glass leads you, and this attendant leads you through this towards the elevators.
Admire the beauty. It's very nice. Stop and smell the jasmine for a moment.
The orchids are quite lovely. And if you keep following her, she'll lead you to one of the small elevators to the side and gesture with the hand that has the glove on it in front of a small panel, and the elevator doors open. To the if you would, and like waits for you all to enter.
Thank you so much.
Fashionably, I do so.
And yeah, we'll follow Aurelia.
After everyone is in, she'll get in and just kind of gesture her hand above the side of the where the buttons are, but there are no buttons. Just kind of gestures, and then produces for each of you a small, basically, you know, like your key card, that hands each of one of you this. The elevators require activation before usage. These are private, and only you and the housekeeping staff will be able to attend to these. And you again realize that you're moving, but you don't feel it. It's that level of elevator that just, you know you're moving because you see the numbers going up, but you don't feel anything. Stabilizers are real good on this. The elevator doors open and comes into a small seating area with a window that overlooks the open, the planet rising behind. Again, low orbit, so you see both the stars and the curvature of the planet. You see that as you come in, yes, Coldrake, like the Power Glove for the Nintendo. Exactly like that. Just putting it out there. You see like a number of it's decorated in a very modernist Japanese tea house look. very sleek lines, but kind of low chairs, shoji and tatami, a bar with an attendant waiting, just standing at the bar, and then there's a door to the left and a door to the right, and these are your suites. Miss Moraine and Mr. Rossi to the left, Mrs. Luda Stirling and Miss Mitsley to the right. And if you have any further need, just call house.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Turns, walks into the elevator, goes away. And the bartender stands there, again, crisp, black vest, white shirt. He has, perhaps Southeast Asian features, Vietnamese, Laos, Cambodia, but close cropped hair, kind of a little floofy on the top. But you see highlights of color lighting going through it, and you're like, oh, he's got LED lighting hair. That's cool. But he just stands at attention, doesn't make any contact, doesn't make, just waiting. If you need him, he's there. But this is like your personal bartender and your personal, like your floor bartender. But the only two rooms on this floor are the two of you.
Ooh, that's nice. We got a floor to ourselves.
Or at least a portion
Quite
of it.
delightful. Well, you only have 3 hours till martinis with your sister, and yeah, if yours is at 4 or 4 o'clock in 3 hours, we should probably all get freshened up, explore our rooms a bit.
Yes.
Miss Mitsley, do you want accompaniment to your meeting?
Definitely at least a +1. She may be my sister, but
Understood.
I can. How about you, Vantage?
I'm gonna have to get ready and prepare myself for the tea. I apologize. You're gonna be in the middle of a lot of family issues at the wedding.
Yes. I can imagine so.
Especially since this accommodation speaks to your brother.
Yes, it does. Well, I have to maintain appearances. I don't want to seem like meet up with the first time my parents, just seeming like a disheveled mess. So
I look forward to meeting them.
Let me know if anyone
Oh,
wants
God.
help styling. I'm
Always,
happy to
princess.
help.
Always. Your impeccable eyes. Well, I wouldn't deny your impeccable eye at any occasion.
Thank you.
Very well. Let us get ourselves ready. Enjoy. I'll see you in a bit.
Indeed. Goes inside, walks aside, steps to the side, and then just huffs that letter now that it's finally not in front of anybody. Like, oh, Argento.
So, question: where is Watcher staying? Which suite?
Well, he
Is-
showed
or
up
is-
as
there-
our security, so
Oh, got it. Okay.
I think, yeah.
The easiest ploy he could think of at the time is you've got 2 wealthy, important women. They would not be without security.
Makes sense.
They need somebody there. Is this guy bothering you? They needed that guy.
Makes
So both suites are kind of appointed the same. Large seating area in the front, very slouchy, modernist, contemporary design, grays and whites, but hints of color, plants in interesting locations, kind of picture, portions of interior design done by, the height of Japanese current aesthetics, but with a little bit more neon, because of setting. And then you also have each has the sitting room. They each have 2 full bedrooms with en suites. They also each, because this is an anime game and I needed to hit as many tropes in this game as
Is there only one
possible.
bed?
No,
Sorry,
no.
that's my favorite anime.
No, 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 no.
The awkward one bed.
No,
moments,
there are
like,
2
you can take the bed. I'll
bedrooms.
take
Well,
the
no,
floor.
that's not true.
Yeah.
There are 2 bedrooms. They both have king beds.
I just got hopeful for a moment,
No.
One day.
No. It's an anime game. I have to hit as many anime tropes as possible. They each have their own en-suites, but each suite has 2 bedrooms. The seating area, each bedroom has its own ensuite, and then each suite also has as you wander around through it, an onsen that overlooks out onto
the star fields.
the planet, to have a perfect view of the planet. It's interesting because it is like a giant piece of granite that's been carved and just kind of looks out. This beautiful moment of like, yeah, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, is this a shared onsen or is this like a split onsen?
No, it's a shared, well, they're like individual, it's a shared onsen for the suite. So like your suite has one, and then
Wonderful.
the other suite has one, and they both share them for the 2 bedrooms in each suite, but the suite,
Got it.
like I said, I need to hit as many tropes in this 6 weeks as possible.
Yeah.
And soon as Adam gets away from the attendant, really, Xavier, you couldn't help yourself. Couldn't even let her choose the venue. But then again, what was I expecting?
So you have a little bit of time before you need to do anything, and the suite, the only personage that you are aware of is the bartender in between your 2 suites. By the way, I have been updating the NPC sheet as we've been going.
Oh, excellent.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Space onsen.
Space onsen.
I'm a fan. I want to go to there.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear, Watcher, was that aside when you entered into the other suite?
Yes, it was pretty much as soon as he got out of earshot of the attendant. Like, he's been
bartender.
holding this in so long. As soon as they got into the interior, he was just going, "This was not Cassie's choice. Dear gods, they couldn't let her choose practically anything. You controlling freak."
Oh God.
Oh no, it's gonna be like I think Vantage just has that look. It's gonna be like this the entire time. I'm gonna.
It right now in Watcher's head.
Okay, it's in.
There's Cassie, and then there's Xavier, who is for this wedding the bridezilla. It's not the bride.
He is the right. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I feel like Rex and or Rowan and Vantage are having like a similar conversation on the other side, where it's like
this is
this totally hits on Xavier's.
This is unbelievable. He must have been a nightmare doing this.
This was your brother's doing.
Yeah, perfectionist, everything, right
Right
down to everything where everyone was.
I mean, there's something to be said about that, but
Yeah,
I
certainly
can see
is.
how that can be a lot to handle.
Yes, and gets bent out of shape when things don't align right. I think that's why we don't get along.
Hmm. Well, not to worry. I'll be around if you need me.
Thanks. I mean, he must be expecting it somewhere. I mean, he did send the invitation out after all.
He still thinks of you. Maybe there's some hope there.
Well, hopefully.
And
Wouldn't like to think I came all the way out here to, make things worse.
And I think like this conversation's being had while while we're walking through the suites. And then Rex notices the onsen on the outside. There's a fucking onsen.
And on the other side, on the other suite, there's like, oh, thank God there's an onsen, Calix. It would have been a nightmare for these accommodations not up to par.
I think actually, what was it? Vantage, like, first thing she does is just lay on one of the beds. It's like, oh, say what you will, I missed. Oh, nice bed.
Yes, it is nice not to be in bunks. As comfortable as they can be, they do not rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
I know planetary populations that are smaller than the thread count on these sheets.
Delightful, isn't it?
I'm
Those
mildly
populations
offended.
are so quaint and adorable in their small populations, and these sheets are not in their high thread count.
Like in the fact. Okay, so this is just Eddie the player. Like thread count isn't everything.
Oh no, it's not.
It's a myth. It's a myth. But
Thankfully, these
I
are
love,
linen.
that's in the back of their mind. Anyway. Well, I think I'm going to take a dip. That was a long journey. Care to join? I know you have to get ready for your.
That's not for 3 hours.
You're right.
I mean, they know what to expect at this point. I'm not going to get all dressed up for it. Plus, it's been a long way.
I always like to say, when you're trying to make an impression that throws them off, do the unexpected. In which Rex pulls out the outfit that Aurelia helped him just find, and it's that one that I shared a couple weeks ago when we were all scouring.
Yeah.
For the viewers at home, it is very like Egyptian styling, like thin couture, with but what did we say it was going to be instead? It had like lightning bolts instead.
Yeah, kind of like a cell lightning pattern too, and it's like
so it's like lightning's coming
like,
together in these V formations, like all interweaving with each other. So there's basically like is that a cape? There's an actual cape that goes all the way down to your feet, with that pattern, and then in between the lightning bolts is sheer black, and then in the front is basically like a similar pant with top. For the viewers at home, that is the outfit that I am now presenting to Lightning.
And she'll smile at like, oh, that is.
I mean, I don't think they'd expect it.
Oh, certainly not from me.
And
really certainly knows how to pick those.
Princess always has an eye, and I thought the lightning bolts fit you well.
It's a good thought. Thanks. Well, certainly won't trying to be my best not to be the baby sister for this whole thing again.
Indeed. And with that, Rex turns around. Shall we then? And starts like unceremoniously stripping their clothing and just tossing it to the bed or to one of the rooms, and then runs into the onsen, which I assume they had prepped.
Okay, wait. You're gonna be that guy who goes directly into the onsen and doesn't shower first?
Oh, I assume there's a shower nearby.
Okay, yeah, but it was just
Shower
like,
into the
I was like, you went directly into the onsen without cleaning off first? And like, no, you don't hot tub that way.
No. You always rinse, cleanse, then cleanse.
Okay. I was like,
Wash.
you are all preparing for your events. And I think that's where we're going to take the break this evening, is a good point, I think. And this is the point where everyone, we are going to take a little break, get your stretch, refresh yourself, get, bio, do all those important things. But while we're gone, we will be having our raffle for Artel Saurian, a PDF copy of Artel Saurian's Mechton Zeta and Mechton Zeta Plus the core rulebook and the rulebook specifically for creation of any mech that you can conceive of. You can build it. And you will just type in, when it goes live in about 30 seconds, type in !Gundam. That's Gundam. And we will be back in about 8 minutes, y'all. Bye. everyone, and welcome back. We didn't have anybody enter the giveaway, so next week we'll give away too. That's how that works. But it has been a couple hours. You're refreshed, perhaps partaken of the onsen in each of your suites. Lightning has been invited to tea at the tea house on the 50th floor, which is technically like the top floor. You can't really have a roof garden on a low orbit space station hotel, so this is as close as they can get. Leo has been invited for martinis at the jazz lounge on the 47th floor. Who is going where?
Well, after my stint in the onsen with Vantage, I don't know if I ever got an answer from you about joining you for tea. Was that yes? Joining you for tea with family and all that?
I don't think she's. I think she's like, I'm probably gonna have to do this on my own. This is gonna be. You do not. It's not something I want to put you in between. It's gonna be bad enough one-on-one. It'll be easier to deal with when they're occupied by the wedding. This is mostly just to size. See what I'm doing. It's gonna be a lot of questions, and if I bring you, they're just gonna ask more questions.
I can only imagine.
But
Of course. I will be nearby if you need me.
okay, thanks.
And Rowan's gonna chill in the hot or the onsen for as long as they possibly can because they don't have anywhere to go.
It's just although it would be nice to introduce the +1 just to keep them from talking whether or not I brought a new boyfriend with me or whatever.
I think you say this as you've like walked back in and are getting yourself ready, and Rowan just like peeks out, like splashed a little bit of the onsen, like, oh, okay, sure, yes, I'll join you for how about I join you about part way through tea, or do you want me to come at the beginning?
At the beginning, and then I get to make the introductions and then make the politeness, and that's what they want, I think.
I think there's a little bit of reluctancy in Rowan's eyes, is like they look down at the onsen, and then they're like, very well, and they get out and they start getting ready.
It's just like, if you don't get rid of it right away, they're gonna just think, oh, secret boyfriend.
Yes, I can only imagine them gossiping about the mysterious +1. Although, wasn't it your brother that didn't approve?
I don't think any of them approve of Rustlin.
That is fair.
I mean, my sister was like, oh, he's super cute, that sort of thing, but
like, he's
Space
so
pirate.
Cute. That's not Rowan saying that, but Eddie. Like doing the impression.
Yeah.
Like, that condescending, like,
yeah.
Oh, so cute. Yeah. Oh boy. Very well. And so Rowan dresses to impress, because that's how he does. So he is wearing instead of the blue blazer, it is now this very chic with a bit of a shine to it, black with a raised, is this a brocade again, because it's a raised pattern, but the pattern is like of lilies with little red as the, I forget the name of that centerpiece of the flower, but yes, they extend the pollinators of the flower. What, sorry? Stamens, thank you. Of the lilies are this vibrant red. So imagine very contrasting black with the red, and then the textures have this flower pop. And then everything else is essentially the same. So just the difference is the blazer. And looks to Vantage and says, "Should I bring the hat?" And points to a cavalier's hat. It's very old, very like kind of an homage to old warriors of various
Important question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the feather real?
Yes. This is a
Ooh.
very Gaian, like, poke in the face, because that's the place where these things will be real. Although it could be on other planets, but it's it's an homage back to the Gaian history.
You know what? Why not?
It's a T-Rex feather. You just stole it from
Yeah.
around the planet.
Yeah, the T-Rex
Actually,
feather.
I like
yeah,
that better.
Yeah, the T-Rex feather. Yes.
It's like a raptor feather from T-Rex feather.
And this was when you and Princess were filming Planet the Time Forgot.
Yes. No, it's actually an old prop from that movie.
Yeah.
And I stole it from set, as you do. You know, as an extra, you're like, well, I'm not.
I looked away and
paid well for this shit. Yeah.
So the two of you are heading to tea. Leo, Princess Watcher, what you doing?
Alex, did you want me to attend cocktail hour with your sister and possibly her husband?
Yes. I think so. It'd be nice to have a little bit of backup. Though you don't have to stay the entire time. I'm sure it's going to be an experience.
I'm sure. I mean, it's been years since I've last seen Alex, so
Same.
dress to impress, and just like picks out a new dress. You know, starts getting ready, finishes her hair.
Same. Calix is also making sure, taking out some of the better things she brought. A nice, very sharp looking pantsuit, a little bit tighter than the last one. And instead of a flowing shirt in the middle, it's just going to be a very tight vest. And
Nice.
still... And going more for that like low light sort of makeup instead of
Mm-hmm.
the lighter one she had earlier.
Taking the
Yes.
keyword lounge into consideration, Aurelia wears another champagne colored, because that's what color her nails are today, dress with another, slit, because, you need to be able to move around easily and sit on different types of chairs. But this one has off the shoulder little drapey sleeves, and it just looks very classy.
Would you like a compliment? And if so, do you want me to be unobtrusive, or do you want me to match or stand out?
We're just going to the lounge.
And very
Yes, but this is a
legitimately, there is someone trying to kill me. From Frontier Armaments, actually.
Yes, 6 figures. You are so worth it.
Again,
Thank you.
they might hesitate if it looks like you have security.
Mhm.
Also, this is a family thing, so I don't know if you want to have pretty man on arm.
Well, that is a family event, but also I'm there, so it wouldn't seem too odd if you were presented as such.
True.
I'm just needing to figure out both
Hmm.
clothing options
Yes,
as well
yes.
as personality type.
I think unobtrusive and on the down low, perhaps a bit for this one, because it's just the lounge. It's not
Okay.
like it's the actual event.
Exactly.
I brought things certain people liked in the past, just in case. So,
Wonderful.
I figured I might as well be ready for anything.
So we're gonna start with Rex and Lightning, and then pan back to Princess Watcher and Leo. You enter the elevator again. It's just waved. Lightning, you've grown up in this level of corp world, colony world. You know that there's no thing so gauche as, like, actually pressing buttons or anything. It's like you just say where you want to go and the elevator will take you to that floor.
Mhm.
Because
This must have been a real awkward time when on the ship that she was on. It's like, just stand there. Wait. Oh, there's a button there.
yeah, it's like you're so used to saying, just take me to the 13th floor. It's like, oh no.
Just standing in the elevator, just yelling at it. Yes.
So you enter, you don't feel the elevator move again. You see the numbers moving. It's not but a moment, and they open into a receiving area and a little bit of a hallway that you can tell kind of goes, there's a little sign that basically says, tea room this way, because it's a long promenade and there are various little elevators all over the place. Not everyone is going to end up in the same, go directly from elevator to elevator. You have to walk down the hall a little bit. But it's really kind of obvious. It's like the only thing in this area on the 50th floor, but it's a little bit as you walk down. And the hallway where the rest of the space, the rest of this hotel with this open promenade and these balconies that look over into the that promenade in those public spaces, this is a very closed hallway, and it's instead of stone and metals, it's instead bamboo walls, dark lighting, recessed just under the outpush of the wall, so it's kind of like along the floor, just kind of a small, as you're walking down, the hardwood floors kind of transition into stepping stones and a gravel path, and you can hear the sounds of the water feature with the bamboo fountain and just knocking occasionally. You feel you smell just that hint of what is it called? It's a Hawaiian flower that's very light perfume.
Hibiscus?
No, it's not hibiscus. It's not hibiscus. It's not orchids. It's not jasmine. It's
Gardenia? You said?
That's way too sweet. And it's
Rose? Cherry blossom? I'm just tossing out flowers.
no. It's
It's probably gonna click with me one second you say it.
Chamomile?
no. It'll come to me. Give me a minute. It'll come to me. Anyways, it's light fragrance, just tropical enough that that's
I think Vantage stops for a second and just looks at Rowan and says, "This stuff's supposed to be calming, but every office, home, tries to have something like this. They always have that dumb water feature that makes the noise, and it makes me so stressed because that means like you're always in trouble because you're always getting sent to the office or something like that." So it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years, and God, I'd rather be getting shot at. I don't know.
Yes, it's always unfortunate when the thing that's supposed to calm you only makes you more agitated.
All right, well,
I'm here, and Rowan puts a hand on their shoulder, and gives it a kind of a comforting squeeze.
thanks.
It'll be okay.
You won for being my +1, I guess. It's going to be a lot of, you're going to get talked to a lot. And it's going to be horrible for a lot of it.
You do smell a little bit of frangipani, but it's also what I was thinking of in particular is kuka e nene, which is it's a very
I'll have to look that up later. I've probably smelled it before, but
If you've been to Hawaii, you have, but it's one of those. It's not strong.
I've been to Hawaii, but I've been to some places.
Kuke. And it's got
Um,
it's actually just like a moss kind of thing with little berries on it, and it doesn't smell very heavy.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in every rock garden you can think of in Hawaii. It's beautiful, it's not overwhelming, and it's just this hint of sweetness, and you're like, that's an evergreen, and why does it smell so sweet? But it doesn't make me sneeze, so there's that.
Yeah, I think Rowan looks to Vanchurch and says, ha, a family that talks to you. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I'd certainly like to keep it that way.
I'll do my
God knows,
best.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, it's not gonna get any easier. So let's. All right.
So we walk into the tea house or whatever. This just what does this place look like on the inside?
It is, you walk in and there's like a small hostess stand, and there's, if you've ever been to the the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York on 82nd, between 84th and 81st Street, on Fifth Avenue, on the technically second floor, on the north end of the building, is the Japanese and Chinese gallery, and there is a beautifully built modernist Chinese Japanese tea house with an open courtyard and trees, and just you enter in, and it's you come through in this hallway, and again it's had these stepping stones, and as you walk in there's the hostess stand kind of, and there's a another one of these individuals in this very uniform look, male presenting, Asian features, kind of mix of a bunch of East Asian intermingling. By this point, again, it's the year, later in the future. A short ponytail at the back of his neck, dark hair pulled tight. He kind of glances at the both of you, and you see him blink his right eye. Ms. Moraine and Mr. Rossi, right this way, please. Your parents your family is waiting for you over here in one of the private rooms. And you see these, again, leading through this very, you walk along this gravel path with these stepping stones that's right along this small river water feature that kind of leads into a koi pond that's in the center of this courtyard, and that this ringed around with these very open wood floor and tatami rooms with low hanging curtains that just come sheared just down to just about halfway, so you can look out against the rest of the courtyard or up to the domed glass of the ceiling of the hotel, or but have some level of privacy and distinction. And the host just kind of nods you and gestures you into one of these rooms. There are 3 people. Well, immediately there are 4 people in this room, 3 of whom, Lightning, right off the bat, is your parents and your brother. The other person you see there, takes you a second, but then you're, oh, okay. And you recognize your brother's head of security, his personal security. Not that he really needs it, but your parents always feel better that he at least pretends to require. And she is very Chinese but Manchurian Chinese, not Han Chinese. More stronger jaw, more defined, sharper features. Her hair is pulled back. You see the inbuilt portion really obvious of the headset system that ties into her radio in the jaw. She has an obvious Chiron, dressed in white leather pants, white leather boots, a long white leather military style jacket that goes to just below her knees. You know, Zhaolan, and she's been around as one of those, oh, I know you. You're slightly higher than like a servant, but and then you see your parents are both seated with their backs to you, just kind of sipping tea and reclining in their chairs, looking out over the view of the planet. Well, no, actually. Yeah, the planet and the starfield behind it. And Xavier is with his back to you, leaning, propping up against, doing that artful slouch, cool guy slouch against a wall with his legs crossed at the ankles, looking like he wants to be rolling a cigarette so bad, and the only reason he's not is because Lightning, that your mother would get onto him about that, because you don't really have to worry about lung cancer in the future because you can just replace them, but at the same time she's like, it's so gauche and it smells, I don't like it.
It still makes everything like linger, so it's like, yeah, you don't want it around.
And he's again just kind of glances at this, it's one of those, you weren't trying to be quiet as you entered. He's dressed, in that, like, he's wearing the tux that he's probably going to wear to the wedding, but he's not wearing the tie or the vest with it right now. It's just, artfully,
formal casual.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, he's if you were considering this as a modern wedding, he's in the still getting dressed portion stage of, so it's like, but he's still like enough that he can show up in a meet and appear in public and still look like if someone took a photo, it wouldn't be offensive. And he kind of, as you come in, he's gonna turn over his shoulder and look at you, the two of you coming in.
And when he looks over, you would see the kind of curly red hair that normally is kind of in a, not like disheveled, but like typically not really tended super crazily. It still looks like bedhead hot, but Rowan has it like swept over with the hat on one side, so it has like this curl that goes over one eye, and like a little bush right here. And they look up and see Xavier. Meets the gaze.
Hello, Xavier. Mom, Dad. Good to see you.
And this is the first time we will see, as you say that, you see Jaren and Adriana Moraine turn. Jaren has been reclining, and he's got a very large, turns, and it's this kind of like gold brocade suit that he's wearing with a muted darker gold vest underneath, a large kind of cravat, artfully flounced with a very large and obvious diamond stick pin, a very flounced white, very square-jawed, more salt than pepper hair, but you can tell that at one point it was darker. Full beard and mustache, dark piercing eyes as he turns to you. And seated next to him is Adriana. She is very pointed, sharp, high cheekbones. The kind that Sophia Loren look of someone who never, not Sophia Loren as a face claim, but that Sophia Loren look of someone who never needed to have Botox because they just had that good genetics. And long, dark hair that's just kind of just a little bit wave in it. She's dressed in this very, kind of offset to her husband in green and gold. A green and gold dress that says Mother of the Bride, but still says Haute Couture, or Mother of the Groom, but still says Haute Couture, and I'm not trying too hard.
As they stand up to like address us, before Rowan sees them, he bows, taking the hat off, and does like a full kind of courteous bow. The hair flops down, covering the face. And as he like glances at the feet, noticing that they are now staring, looking at him, he will raise back up to see them face to face.
This is my guest, Mr. Rowan Rossi.
A pleasure.
Rowan,
Do I recognize them?
Rowan, two things. Number one, you look up and it takes a brief second, a moment. You're not sure, but then you 100% are. These are your parents. And
What we're I don't think we ever established this, and I'm totally down to do this right now. Are they using their
they are
previous
not.
names?
They are not. That's how
I don't have their original names, so let's come up with that. And I'm gonna call Rex, or Rowan is going to call them that.
Okay, call them by their real name, by their names as you knew them.
But like whispers it, because yes.
Okay,
There's
cool. I have a
probably
question.
a reason.
I have a
Yes.
question for you. Number one, you do not need to roll human perception. My question is, are you going to try and stop your mother from passing out and hitting her head on the tea table?
Absolutely.
I need an athletics from you to get across the room to do this. As this is, it's very artful passing out, but she gonna hit her head. It's fine.
Why is it?
It's just like, what is it? Like deer in the headlights at this
Took
point.
one look at my +1 and passed out. This is not a good sign.
Yeah. I think maybe she saw like Rex make like a face, and then like her mom start to like, it's like, this is 100% not what this is.
Wait, didn't? Oh, there. That's why. Okay.
No, that's fine. It's not a big space, but it's enough that you can get across.
At a 14.
At a 14,
Yeah.
you, because I'm just gonna do this, and it just screams to me.
I feel like this is kind of like one of those moments where Rex, as their hair falls back behind them, like back into the position that they had basically, swayed it into, the mother blinks, they blink, he says the name, and immediately like she starts to fall and his reflexes just kick in.
Yes. So, because I can do this and it makes the most
It does like a
sense.
first base slide, or no, slide into home base. Trying to make a cradle.
Your parents' original names, I'm going to put.
Oh,
in the-
sweet!
Hell yeah.
Thanks for figuring that out. I was just gonna come up with something, but
No, because I've been looking at this picture and I've been like, no, I totally know who these people are. Umberto and Anahita Rossi.
Oh yes, that's perfect.
Look, That man is an Umberto. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
and that is totally a Nahita.
Yeah. She is passed out. Kind of having that moment of shock. He is not answering, and Lightning, you can roll me human perception.
Human perception. All right. Yep. There you go.
I think there's with Anahita's head in Rowan's lap, he looks up at Umberto.
I think at this moment, like, before there's any relation, her first instinct is like, "Shit, mom," and then just like,
With that 18, two things that immediately become obvious to you as you look. Number one, your parents both recognize Rex. They know him. Number two, you see your father go to that shuttered look that goes beyond just the face he had, that professional face he has when he's dealing with, in a boardroom kind of look. It's that level of shuttered where it's iced. He's just come over with ice, and you haven't seen it frequently before. You've seen it once or twice when he's actually mad and would like, instead of becoming overly passionate or something like that, he just becomes a chill statue who pulls all expression in, and you can just barely see it, but you know that there's something not safe in that look in his eyes as he looks at Rex.
I think her first instinct is to it's like, oh shit, dad, I'm I knew it was a mistake to bring someone from Starblade here. I fucked up. I'm sorry.
What?
This was a mistake. I should.
As you're saying that, both of you can roll me awareness notice. Rex, you're a little overwhelmed at seeing your parents for the first time in how long?
Probably well over a decade.
I mean, did you have younger siblings before?
Maybe when we were very, it's like I said, well over a decade. So I'm probably thinking like 20 some odd years.
Mm-hmm. You're in shock. You're a little stunned.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Lightning, 10 seconds. You're disoriented. You're focused on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
As you start saying that, a brief second comes just as Xavier has come up next to you and reached around you to pull you behind him and starts backing you out of the room. Keeping himself between your parents and Rex.
Xavier, what's
now.
going on? No, what's
Not
going on?
now.
No, what's no, what? Rowan, what? Do you know them? What's happening? Someone, what the hell's going on? Just let go. Xavier, let go of me.
No. And and he moves. He's got in like he is full marmomming you across the upper chest and shoulders, but he's doing it with his left hand, and he's got his right hand where you know he keeps a blade, and he's made eye contact with Xiaolan, and is flicked his eyes towards the door. You can see that as you're being pulled back. Rex, what's going on?
So let's see. Let's establish what the last memory that Rex had of his parents.
Yes, let's.
I see a young Rex or young Rowan like 7 years old, looking up on a shuttle at Starbase, reverse, looking at a shuttle from the Starbase as his parents head towards a larger ship that's supposed to be heading somewhere. And that shuttle ends up getting like on its way to this larger ship, ends up getting attacked. And in his shock, sees the shuttle explode.
And you've been in boarding school. Well, then you went off to boarding school. It was your parents leaving you at boarding school, I believe. That moon visit.
Yeah.
That first visit to the moon.
Yes. Yeah, so I think that's the base that it was. It was actually they were dropping me off on the moon base.
To go to Tycho.
Yeah. It was like the preschool as they were going on their adventures.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in this moment, Rowan is like basically goes back and forth between looking at his mother and then back at the father and trying to understand the facial expressions of the father.
I mean, you can roll human perception if you want.
Okay.
Oh no.
Natural one.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that d10 for subtraction.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's
Oh no!
Not get a read on that man.
yeah. No, I think Rex is just fully in shock,
Everybody is.
like in this moment.
Rex is in shock and doesn't know what's happening.
I think there's just like this dumbfounded look on Rowan's face, just looking up at Umberto. Where did you come from?
And on that question, we're gonna cut across, basically pan across this same deck to the other side, far distant side, to the Jazz and Cigar Lounge. Small, low chair booths, circular in nature, kind of surround a circular dance floor with a very stylish, Frank Sinatra-esque tux, so white tie, undone, kind of level, jazz players just riffing on the stage at the moment. Very calming. Synth jazz. It's synth jazz here, people. And we see Leo and Leo, Princess, and Watcher have walked in behind the hostess, again in the same nondescript uniform. And what do you do as you see Alex and her new husband, Lorian, yeah, Messer.
As I see them, I'll point them out to Aurelia, just subtly, and I'll start making my way over to them. Are they facing the bar, each other?
They're in
Looking-
a small like booth that it's one of those circular booths that you can that's low, so you can kind of see where everyone's seated, kind of thing. Off to the left side of the stage, with a couple drinks in front of them, but they're not. Their backs are, they're turned to the side, so they're not really paying attention to who's coming in.
I'll also motion that I'm heading to the bar first to grab a drink, and as per the invite, I'll order a martini.
Do you care what kind of martini you receive?
No, just that it's bougie. Really, it's all that really matters to me at this moment.
So like a Negroni?
Yeah.
Okay, a Negroni. I mean, I feel like being that level of like shishi.
And I'll ask, Ari, would you like a drink or?
Oh, perhaps just I'd like a light fizzing juice. Like a mocktail.
I like that. Any particular glass?
Oh, whatever you think sounds fun.
And I'll order that for her, and in a champagne glass because Ari's classy.
She is, and she's wearing the color champagne, so it works.
Exactly.
So basically, probably like something that looks like a mimosa.
Yeah, probably. Orange juice and seltzer.
Just fizzy juice.
Fizzy juice, yeah.
As I come back with the drinks with Aurelia. Well, shall we?
We shall.
And we walk over to Alex and Lorian.
As you do, Watcher, what are you doing?
Watcher's gonna post up at the bar,
Mm-hmm.
keeping an eye on his two crewmates, Asgardian Sunrise. So this layered drink that is different shades of red, and just sits there, well dressed, listening to the jazz, but it's obvious to anyone who's looking that his eyes are sweeping and then going back to the two ladies. So if anyone's going to do anything, they need to deal with him first.
Okay, so since you're looking, go ahead and roll me awareness notice. As the two ladies approach the table, this low, Lorian, being the proper gentleman of Tycho, stands, you're 22. We'll come back to that in a moment. Stands to, give you that half bow. It's the two ladies join the table. And, then pulls the Aurelia, darling, it's been so long. How are you?
Lorian, it has been quite some time. And Alex, how have you two been?
We've been absolutely smashing. We're so sorry that you couldn't attend our wedding.
Oh, yes, it's quite unfortunate that seems that something happened with the mail, It's interstellar mail these days.
You just can't trust anyone these days.
No.
Please.
so hard to get good help, and just, has her seat. Oh,
Alex, by the way, is not making eye contact with either of you.
Oh, I am making
Oh.
only eye contact with Alex.
Oh, it's one of those situations where you've got the two like, hi, yes, and the siblings are just like, one's ignoring, one's mean mugging, and it's like, we're just going to pretend that everything's fine. Yep,
Mhm.
I can just picture it now. Yep. Oof.
Mm. Yes, very nice to see you both. Alex, you're looking lively.
She doesn't verbally answer. She just kind of makes bleak eye contact at you and does that smile and nod. Go ahead and roll human perception.
Oh,
Yeah, can I roll a human perception as well?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add a little bit of luck to that one because I am trash at reading people.
It's not my sibling. I don't.
Not my sibling.
I was an only child. It's 10. I don't
I rolled
understand these sibling dynamics as well as
I rolled a 13.
Okay, 13. And a 3? You don't have
10.
human perception?
10.
It's a 10. She rolled a 1.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, because
Sorry.
we both rolled 13s and I subtracted 3.
Okay, so yes, you're busy engaging with
I may have been a roommate with Alex back on on the moon, but I always liked hanging out with Calix a little better. So it's just it's so hard to read these intense sibling dynamics, and I'm being friendly. It's polite thing to do.
Just making sure I have all of these notes that are very important things for people to be aware of. Okay, so Lorien has shifted himself so that he's kind of slightly blocking Aurelia's view of Alex, so you can't quite see her enough to kind of understand. But
Yeah.
with a 13, and because Leo, Alex is your twin, you'll notice a couple things right off the bat. One, she's pale, but she's hiding it with makeup. Well,
Ooh.
but she looks unwell. Her hair is styled, but it's much more... It's like it's a mom hairdo for a given value of like high-end, like really fancy celebrity, but it's aged her, it's not age appropriate for her. It's over her, it's like a hairdo for a woman 20 years older.
Mm-hmm.
And she will not make eye contact with you, and she keeps flicking her eyes back and forth to the conversation between Lorien and Aurelia, and she's not said a word since you sat down. You'll also notice that there is only water sitting in front of her.
I'm gonna do that thing that you do when you're kids.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm just gonna kick her under the table.
Oh, I don't just do that as kids.
True. But it's the last time I saw her, so.
She slightly dodges out of the way, but not enough, and she doesn't really respond. Like, she doesn't kick you back. Like, okay, it's all been there. At this point, Lorien sat down, and he's turned and placed his arm around the back of because again, it's that low booth. He's got his arm resting on the back of the booth behind Alex, with his hand just kind of on the far side of her, with his thumb rubbing up and down on the outside of her shoulder. She's wearing a, very kind of light, gauzy gown, sleeveless, but somehow still very high collar, You might say, and it also, again, is just that just like 20 years older than it should be.
Lorian, it's been a bit since we last saw each other. You're looking different.
Alex, darling, I'm so glad. I was so sorry that you couldn't attend the wedding. I know it broke poor Alex's heart, but we understood, didn't we, Alex? Yes. And there's like that turn and look and nod together. But Leo, you've been looking at this point, and you notice it's a half beat short when Alex does it.
Yes, absolute travesty. I'm so sorry that communication lines must have gotten crossed. I didn't have the opportunity. The pictures looked lovely.
Well,
And
it was such a shame that you couldn't join in the pictures. I know that it was very upsetting we couldn't have a full family portrait. But we are here. We must make sure the photographer at the wedding is going to, well, I don't know. It's this outboard colony wedding. Who perhaps the photographer.
There will be photographers. Argento sends his regards to you both, by the way.
Ooh.
You know, he would. He did.
Aurelia, when you say that, go ahead and roll me human perception.
I would love to. I'm gonna spend.
You also have
2 points.
You also have 2 points of luck that chat very kindly gave you.
I'm gonna spend my own 2 points of luck.
Mhm.
'Cause I think there might be someone who needs it more, possibly. 20.
Okay, a couple things right off the bat. This dude is skeevy and creepy, but the minute
Yep.
you say your husband's name, you see a shot of concern go through his face, and he starts glancing around as if he's looking around here.
Huh. That's interesting.
Do I see that?
With a 22, you will notice a bunch of things.
No.
Number one, you will notice that yes, the minute she mentions Argento, sending his greetings, he's glancing around, not in anticipation, but in concern that Argento might actually be here. You will also have noticed that half beat off that Alex is. I mean, you don't know her as well, so you're not 100% sure, but you just see the body language she's not turning into him. She's standing very rigidly as much as she can, but not really.
When he starts looking at the mention of Argento, I'm wearing French cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do that thing.
And Aurelia probably would have made sure they were like silver and gold as well, to be like deep in the color scheme.
Going to bring it up, covering the mouth, the cuff, and just hold there for a second and then put it back down.
Oh, you're going to be one of those people who, poor young deaf boys who are deaf in one ear and talking to their sleeve. Because you're making eye contact as you do this,
Love this.
as you're making eye contact as you do this,
Like, no, he's not here, but his security is.
you would notice he kind of flicks to you as you've kind of made it an intentional motion to kind of draw attention. His eyes flick to you and they start glancing around slightly more in concern, and he moves his arm that's around Alex's, that had just kind of been drifting there, a little bit closer and tighter, pulling, almost as if he's holding on to her. But not necessarily with concern.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, it has been a bit since we last spoke, both of you. How long have you two lovebirds been together?
Oh, it was absolutely a whirlwind of romance. I and Alex rekindled our relationship at the regatta, the Australian Cup. It was experience. I was crewing the vessel this year, didn't I? And I did a good job, didn't I? I did a very good job. And she's just kind of nodding along.
That's
And
that sounds amazing.
And Alex was a part of the party that was at the celebration. It was absolutely smashing to see everyone. It was so bracing on the ocean. You know, I feel the wonderful feel of wind in your hair.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean,
Sounds
I had
exhilarating.
a brief stint as a racer once before. Also, my favorite part was just the feel of going so quickly. And I put my drink down more close to the middle of the table as I start making more exaggerated motions. Speaking of like, oh yes, and there's a wonderful car and the most beautiful paint job. Oh my, and I'm just riffing off of whatever, moving my hands more exaggeratedly, and then I say, oh my, and then there was this one time we were so close, and then right at the last second, and as I do that, I go like that, and I hit my drink straight towards Lorian, so it spills over towards him. Ooh. And just like that, I get first. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry.
No, I'm, and he starts, you know, it's cocktail. They're futuristic cocktail napkins. They're not even napkins. They're like little futuristic coasters that are like,
yes,
that are like entirely recyclable plant weave that have LEDs moving through them. And he's trying to pat himself. I'll be right back. You just wait. I'm going to go. This is I totally.
Yes, you should really get water to it as quickly as possible, so the
yes.
stain doesn't set in.
Can you roll me? Look,
expensive.
roll me, because I want to see something, and I want to do something, but I want to see if this is probably a likelihood that it would happen. Could you roll me stealth, please? Or pickpocket, if you have it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, not if I'm pickpocket.
It's under
there's
tech
the other one.
abilities. It's the very bottom of tech abilities.
Well, no, same difference.
You also
Same
still
difference
have
for
2
me.
points of luck for from chat.
From chat.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
This
All
sounds
right.
important.
Yeah, spend some luck. Spill all that drink. Make him not realize it was intentional.
16.
So did you spend the 2 points of luck from chat?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure, you know, little things. So he gets up, and you will notice that the drink kind of hit the middle of his chest because of where the table was, and then just kind of started pouring down. It wasn't close enough to just hit him in the middle of where he's sitting, in the middle of his crotch. It's just in the middle of his, and it's dripping down, and he's got this gold lame suit. It's not tasteful gold like you wear,
No.
Aurelia. It's schlocky. It's not even kitsch. It's schlock. And you know, he kind of pats. As he stands up, he kind of pats Alex on the shoulders, like, "I'll be right back." And he turns and walks away. And as you do so, you will see, Leo, just the slightest little, because you're a tech and you understand these things. You see, you're a pilot and all of these. You see the tiniest little spark of electricity, almost like something shorted out.
On
On him
Lorian?
as he gets up and walks away.
Just for clarification, so that they know what they saw, was, and because this is something that Eddie's thinking of, was it something on the clothing that they think, or
Either
like
in, on the
underneath?
either in
Or
in-
underneath.
either on in his
Yeah,
clothes.
or is it like some cybernetic that went haywire?
You can't be 100% sure.
Okay.
It's based on the fact that it's like a drink and not, it's a martini, not like a gallon of water.
Mm-hmm.
The likelihood of anything sharding out, it's probably either something on the clothing or in a pocket, but because you just don't think it can get all the way through the layers of clothing to reach
Mm-hmm.
a cyber,
Okay.
a cyber item that might be implanted somewhere. But you see a little bit of a short. And as he
Alex, now that it's all just us ladies trying to get something out of her.
roll me, well, no, let's go with your previous human perception of a 20 at this moment. Well, no, that was on him. Roll me human perception on her.
Mm-hmm.
As she turns back to the two of you, kind of slowly, as if she smiled at him as he got up and walked away, and slowly turns back.
15.
That's enough for this. She makes eye contact with the both of you, and then glances to her left and to her right. And Watcher, we're gonna stick with that 22. That's kind of your room awareness.
Mhm.
As you see her do that, you see two individuals watching her intently.
Okay.
But they aren't pulling a Watcher level of security where they're like, this is security, let me fold into the background. They're not even pulling a Zhaolan level of security where I'm like, I am the personal bodyguard and I will fuck you up as I stand here standing out. This is... Watcher, can you roll me... oh, what is it? It's the culture one.
One of these days, archaic weapons will come into play.
Archaic weapons will definitely come into play. I'm just telling you, it will definitely come to play. Go ahead and... You could roll me shadowing and avoid pursuit. This is probably going to be your best.
We'll spend 2 luck on this.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
19.
These are Goomba.
Excellent.
These are not bodyguards that are professionals. These are not thugs. These are Tony Soprano's guys who are around the room level of security.
I'm going to get up from the bar. While I have my glass. I'm going to head over to one of them. The one that's closest to the ladies.
As this is happening, I'm gonna turn to you, Aurelia, and I'm gonna say, Ari, could you give us just a moment? And if you do see Lorian, could you ask him to get me another drink? I know it's my fault, but...
Oh, no, you're fine. And I noticed, Alex, that you only have water. The seltzer and orange juice is quite good. Shall I fetch you one of those as well? I need to top mine off.
She'll kind of like give you that very subtle nod.
Of course, darling. And she says it loud enough in such a way that it's like, I'm not asking, I'm suggesting, but I'm really asking. Like, if you're close, yeah.
And I'm gonna turn to Alex.
And I'll conveniently leave my clutch there with my pad, my data pad, like out in case, should they need to overtly say anything or do things.
And as you do that, oh, no, not there. It's still wet there. And I'll move it over to my other side where Lauren wasn't at, but
Thank you,
Alex
darling.
was. Yes, of course. It's too expensive to get wet. I look over at Alex and I say, well, it has been a little bit of... and whenever I would pause and say, like, something like that, what I am going to say is, like, most twins, I'm assuming, who get stuck in boarding school for the majority of their adolescence, we did come up with a twin speak. And so every time I would stop and say, I just say like very quiet gibberish, quiet enough that she could hear, but not anyone around us. But that gibberish is a word she would understand in code.
So
And-
basically, you're adding the code underneath the word pauses.
Yeah.
Can you roll me no language? Any one of your languages is fine. I just want to see how well this goes to layer it beneath the other spoken language. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'll add that to my a little bit of luck to that also.
Okay.
21.
Okay, yeah. This is you. It's almost second nature. You're surprised at how well you can still do this. You haven't seen Alex in how long?
Well over a decade since we left school.
Since you left school, and she doesn't say anything out loud. It's very obvious that she's listening and paying attention, and she's made eye contact with you for the first time.
Mm-hmm. And the things that I'm saying are you in danger? How many? Are they here? Can I help you? And I will say, as I'm saying this, I'm like, oh, I did see your photos. Actually, I brought some of your photos. I did have a little bit of criticism at your wedding. I know I wasn't there or involved with the planning, but I did see, and I'll I'm sure Ari won't mind me logging into my email, and I'll type on it and bring up the photos or whatever, and I'll turn them over to her. But as I am doing it, I'll have like add a comment on this photo. So when I like shove it in her face to be like, well, you see this thing here. So, and covering it in like making emphatic motion. So if she does move her hand closer to it, she can.
As you do this, she will say that yes, she is in danger. She types out very, very slowly, and she's kind of shifted one hand to be on the pad and the other one to be pointing, like this, so that her right hand can type while her left hand is pointing at various things, and it kind of looks like she's just leaning over and doing this. Mm-hmm. And she'll say, yes, they're here, at least 2. And as she's saying this, I'm like, oh, and this color was just so gaudy. Clearly from your better half. I must have chosen that. And just a lot of just like mean things that I'd probably be saying to my sister who I haven't seen in a long time. Yeah, it's like you're ragging on your sister's new husband who you haven't seen. You're like, did you really have to pick him?
Who I hated in school and hate still now.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's making eye contact every time you do. Watcher, what are you doing?
So the one that's closer to the booth. Can I get a description of this gentleman?
I can do you one better.
Oh.
Okay.
I can do you one as soon as I get the thingy. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah. I'd also like to say that Aurelia definitely passes by Adam on the way to refill her drink and get one for Alex as well. So if you wanted to pass anything along.
You've seen this look in his eyes as he's walking past.
Mm-hmm.
He's upset.
Yeah. Look, there's a certain amount of... It's a thing. I'm sorry. It's a thing. It's a heavy-set gentleman with a very round face. He's got the dark hair with a very artful little swoop right in the middle. Picture Joseph Cervano.
Okay.
A young Johnny boy.
Okay. If he's young, this is how...
I mean, he's young. He's in his 40s. It's not like...
Yeah, but as the 30-year-old hot thing with a cocktail in hand. Hey there, handsome. Is there anybody sitting here?
He doesn't even turn to look at you and just says, fuck off, you fuck off, Fungool.
Charming. Words the laws. You and your boys have just stepped in it. And I don't care who you are. You don't have a warship in orbit. We will burn you. And when I'm done burning you, they will use your corpse as a warning to any other fuckwit in this system. As Guardian, look up Blood Eagle. Downs the drink, puts it on the table. You've got 2 hours to get your boys out of here.
Could you roll me Intimidate?
I'll spend the rest of my luck on this.
You also have one from chat.
I'll leave that one. $16. You've got 2 hours to get you and your boys out of here. Then the people that can afford BioWare start making you disappear. And just go back to the bar.
So as you do that, we're going to pan the camera back through this hallway of this long promenade that connects the two, the tea room with the jazz bar. And we're going to come back into this situation in this room with Rex kneeling on the floor, supporting his mother who is unconscious. His father, Umberto, standing over him, hasn't said a word yet. Xavier has moved in front of Lightning and has got his left arm mom-arming Lightning and pulling her back while he's got his right hand on his sword and backing up away from the, what's going on here, and moving, having shifted his personal security, Zhaolan, to coming around to the other side of Lightning to provide further security. And Lightning, you hear something as he hasn't, all he said is, he hasn't responded to your requests for information. He's just like, don't get in the way, step back, we need to get you out of here. And he's looking at this situation. Lightning, you would hear him click his jaw and activate his radio, his implant. And he looks, and for the first time he shifts his gaze from Umberto to Rex. And he says, oh wait, hold on, I need to make sure I do this in the right language.
Oh jeez.
Huh?
Oh jeez.
Look, it's
It's the future. There's been time. There's so many.
I know.
yes. Fratellino, come. And he says that directly to Rowan, fully expecting you to respond.
Wait, what language is that?
If you want to know, it's Italian.
Okay.
Fratellino.
And he's basically summoning me?
Mm-hmm. And fully expecting as if you would come, if he called you and called you by that name. Now, does it mean anything to you, and would you want to?
So first, yes, it means something, but also I think there's like part of Rex that is still in shock, and so probably doesn't fully like hear like as we got with that one of the was it
Human
awareness?
perception, yeah.
Human perception. I think for sure Rowan is just like a little bit checked out in that regard, and so doesn't make the connection of the statement that was made and just looks at Xavier with like narrowed eyes, trying to understand, and like and says, where did you go?
I think in that moment, like as you know, Lightning's struggling not to like be pushed out of the room. It's like she'll, in the most panicked voice you've ever heard, it's like Rex, what's going on?
And I think that's maybe the moment that like Rowan starts like coming back to full awareness, with like everything happening. Like there was a moment, and then Vantage like peeks their head around the corner or around the shoulder of Xavier and says that, and Rowan is like, "Why are you running?"
Fratellino. Now.
I think there's like a moment where Rowan looks at Umberto and like ushers him to come take the mother, and then gets up, talks, or like whispers into Umberto's ear as he gets up.
You're going to have a moment as you get up.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you have, you're a little messed up still, and your situationalness is a little.
Yeah.
Just as you're standing up and you go to turn to actually talk to Umberto, that's the moment you see the glint of the blade coming at your chest. I need you to roll dodge escape if you want, and I would like you to take a -2 because you rolled that.
There's
one.
that point of luck. That was.
Hey, I'm wearing armor.
You are, which may help.
The damage.
Not getting hit is better than
Best.
armor.
Yes.
I get that.
Is this coming from Xavier?
No.
Okay, it's not okay.
Your father's about to kill Rex.
Oh,
I was in good standing.
You were in good standing.
Apparently there was some blood that happened after that. Okay, well, let's see. How much luck do I have left?
There are 2 points of luck that Chad has kindly given.
do it. Yes.
Take those.
Okay.
Take
Okay.
those.
Use
We don't-
yours.
it's like
Stay alive.
Rex has
Use
almost
yours.
died twice.
Use
I'm not
those.
gonna
Use them
You
all.
do not get to get stabbed on the onsen episode, damn it.
Yeah, don't let
Yeah.
that happen.
Let's see. Okay, so I used two. Okay, so I've got 4 left on top of that.
Don't make it almost being killed half the season.
All right. I'm putting all my tables down. 23.
Woo.
23 wins. You see and just barely move out of the way as the knife comes in to scratch at you from his left hand.
Yeah, I think there was a moment where Rowan puts their right hand to like the chin of Umberto, and like that's when they go in for the stab. But Rowan, being a skilled martial artist, deflects with their blade, which is now unsheathed, and like does a full deflection. The hand falls away, and they do like kind of a dash back, Yeah.
So as you move backwards, we're gonna go to Lightning for a moment. What is your reaction?
Oh, the second like she sees like her dad just pull a sword on Rex.
Oh no, not a sword. He hasn't pulled his sword. His sword is still in his cane, which you know
Yeah.
he's got.
Yeah.
No, this is his stiletto.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, pull the blade. Okay.
Yeah, he fully intended to.
She is going to scream out, and she is going to actually try and wrestle past Xavier and just try and like shield Rex from her father and probably the rest of the security people around. Like, just try and put some space.
Right now, there isn't any other security person around. The only other security person around is Xiaolin, who is moving into.
Yeah, that's who I'm worried. That's also who I'm worried about.
So this is going to be a contested athletics.
I'm gonna spend contested athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna put like 2 points of luck on that.
Mm-hmm.
Please. 23.
Ty goes to the defender. So in this case, he's the defender.
Oh God.
He's not doing anything to harm you. He's doing is preventing you from getting in this situation. Like, that's all he's doing. And the thing that you'll hear two things, is we're gonna kind of popcorn around for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You heard him click his jaw, and then you heard him open a channel. Adam, get my sister off this hotel now. Is there a response? That's what you hear, Lightning. And Xiaolin, and then he turns and he will shove you. And he will say loudly and you can hear this, and he will say, "Not now. Go with Xiaolin and go." And he will shove you out the door.
It's like, no, you tell me what's going on, Rex, Xavier, what's going on?
Now, Xiaolin has come up and she is going to try and escort you out. We're going to go back to the moment with Rowan and Umberto and the blade, and you've pulled yourself back. Rowan, you roll me awareness notice. No penalties, you just know. You can just roll it.
Oh, fun. Unfortunately, the sheet is like lagging every time I load it.
We've all been there. Thank you, Roll20. We appreciate your kindness.
Oh my god. That's not responding? I wonder if this is just like my computer. Okay.
I mean, I can... Oh, no, there we go. 12?
All
This
right.
is enough. I mean, he wasn't being quiet when he told Xiaolin to get Lightning out of here. And you hear him come up behind you, and you feel that movement of air as he moves himself around and in front of you.
Xavier?
Xavier, but he's got his back to you, and he's got a gun out. Pointed at your father.
What's going on?
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to read.
Try and human perception your brother?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what the fuck is going on there.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. It's just raw rolls from now on because I've spent all my luck.
I mean, you didn't get stabbed.
But you're not stabbed.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
we don't. I mean, scene's not over. We'll know what's happening.
Yeah, it's true. True. 14.
14. Your brother has shifted himself and standing straighter and pushed his back, but he's also made himself bigger. And the gun...
Do I see it as like a protective stance?
Yes, he is very obviously trying to stand in front of you and anything that might come in front from an attack from the front. He is also he's got the gun in his left hand and he's taken his right hand and is reaching to push in the middle of your chest to push you backwards, as if to walk back with you.
Okay.
And
I assume you're going to explain.
Fratellino, I told you to come, and just pushes you harder to get you out of the room.
Yeah, I mean, what about Mama?
There's no response. He's not ignoring you, but he's focused on a threat in this room, and he's like,
right.
That's a question that isn't relevant at the moment.
Yeah, so I think with Blade ready, there's going to be a kind of defensive stance as Rowan will step back with Xavier.
So we're going to pop to the other side as the Rossi Moraine siblings try and back out of this situation. Watcher.
Yeah.
You know that private channel that you haven't really paid a lot of attention to in 5 years?
Yeah.
You just got a message asking you to get his sister off this fucking hotel.
There is confusion followed by a very deep sigh. As he quickens his pace to the bar, just gestures the barkeep. Vodka strongest now.
Aurelia turns and looks at you because she's at the bar.
And then just
Everything all right?
the Xavier position.
Probably be a beef. That pause would be brief enough to have pushed. But Rex, you can still hear because it's like almost sotto voce, but he's not really. He could. You're muted. We can't hear you.
I'm also very much paying attention to what's going on right now.
Yes, you are. You're very much paying attention, particularly to what he's doing.
I nearly got stabbed, and like only my reflexes. So like the adrenaline is like.
So he, leaving the tea house, hitting the elevator. 50th floor.
Moving. As soon as shot of vodka hits bar, thank you, and just looks at Princess. Now Alex and Calyx head back. Head back to the
things
suite.
here if you need to go elsewhere.
Head back to the suite. Watch out for the two Goombas, though. They're probably about to change pants. Avoid the walking fashion crime. I've got to go.
I'm not worried about him.
I've got to go and grab Lightning. Apparently, there's problems with family.
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
Cool. Were you guys trying to be quiet?
No.
Really?
I really didn't say anything that didn't need to not be heard. Just, I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about, her husband, because he's gross, and I have a better one, and I'm very persuasive.
Yeah, and as I'm walking out, I'm going to look at the one Goomba I threatened and just go and hold up 2 as I'm walking out.
They have stood up and have shifted the lapels, the sides of their jacket to move them away from the guns that are on their belt.
Pauses at the door. Ritz security.
Yes, of course. And the voice of the overhead loudspeaker responds, "How may I be of assistance?"
We have 2 unlicensed wielders in the bar. Please apprehend and expedite their way off this vessel. Thank you.
Thank you for your concern. We'll address this issue in a moment. Forthwith. We are always concerned about the safety of our guests, and unlicensed firearms are a hazard to all of our guests. The alarm starts blaring in the jazz area. With the 2 individuals with unlicensed weapons, please remain seated and be prepared to be arrested by Ritz security. Would all other guests please vacate the jazz lounge? We wish to ensure your safety. And you see...
And Lorian is in the bathroom. I come over to the table at this moment with beverages in hand. Ladies, shall we go back to my room?
Yes, let's go. And
arm
very
around Alex. Yeah.
aggressively pull Alex.
Mm-hmm. We make it look like we're just 3 gal pals hanging out. She's in the middle between us. I'd like to think, yeah, let's just link arms. Here's a beverage. Let's go back to our rooms.
She's a half beat slow in this
Mm-hmm.
to do it, but she responds immediately. And as she does, you see these 2 guys have stood up and have moved their clothes, start to reach for their weapons. And the bartender just smiles at this, and you can all see this, just smiles at this and goes, and taps the bar twice, and you see these 2 individuals start to jerk as they've become electrocuted by the floor. It's not a lot, it's just a little...
Just a little taser.
Just a little shock.
Taser.
Like
Yeah.
a cattle prod.
Just a little...
Yeah.
It's not quite a cattle prod. If they made a bigger problem, they'd be a cattle prod. But,
Mhm.
there has to be a way to control individuals, particularly with large amounts of alcohol on such a vessel. But as the 3 ladies proceed to the hotel, Xiaolin is got her hand, has flicked her hand, and a baton has come out, and she's got one arm, on Lightning's shoulder as kind of guidance, but not threatening in any way, and she's glancing around at every intersection as you make your way down to the elevator to get you on the hotel. Xavier has not turned his back on his father at all as you make your way out of the room, out of the terrace.
Neither has Rowan. Xavier has basically been staring at Umberto
Rowan?
with the occasional glance, yeah.
Okay.
With the occasional glance to Xavier.
So, this is the scene as we pull the 3 Moraine Rossi siblings moving themselves away from tea with their parents. The 2 Mitsley sisters and their friend Princess having a very girls' night before the wedding, making their way to their hotel room.
Reunion, that's all that is to see here.
Family!
Unfortunately.
It's all about family.
And
Heartwarming.
where do we see Watcher?
Watcher is doing that murderous power walk to the elevator appropriate to get him to the location that Xavier gave him.
Well, you're technically on the same floor, you're just on way opposite ends of the hallways.
It's the murderous power walk, but should a gunshot ring out, then it's going to be a run. But till then, just power walk.
So
Probably here. You probably hear Lightning yelling at the.
Yelling is good. Yelling means you're alive.
Mm-hmm.
Gunshots are bad. Gunshots might mean you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the scene as we pull the camera back away from this beautiful 5-star resort hotel in low orbit over Soligen Prime. The scene of a wedding. And we pull the camera even further back, and we see this very lovely, almost sloop in personal yacht in gold and silver approaching the Ritz. But as you see this personal yacht pull in to dock, we pull the camera even further back out, and there are bright lights flashing just in space. And that's where we're gonna end for tonight.
Damn.
How we
Talk
doing?
about
Good.
Talk
I'm
about
doing good. This is great.
fucking plot twist.
Yeah, this is-
Holy.
Wasn't expecting some of those.
No.
Family, y'all. Family.
Who could expect those?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, am I gonna have to do like some patricide shit? Oh,
It's like, hey, meet my
God.
parents.
It,
Oh,
it
why did you
feels a bit
stab him?
early in the festivities for patricide.
You have to wait till at least past dinner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering, you know, it was all in self-defense, I swear.
Everyone
Patrick-
in that place has at least a little idea what's going on. Lightning doesn't know what the hell is happening.
I mean, I don't think Rex knows what's happening either, beyond the fact
Rex
that
has
his
a better idea. Rex has
Rex
a better
at
idea
least-
what is
yeah,
going
he's
on.
like-
Understands
parents?
why.
Yeah.
But does Rex
Why?
Lightning,
Really?
lightning
Why?
just,
Just
lightning.
recognize people.
Yeah, I think so. Like narratively, I imagine that Xavier had just graduated and was sent off on a mission. I never saw them again.
I mean, Xavier's
and-
like 3 years older than you, so he went to school 3 years before you did.
Yeah. And so like I actually in my own head, like the moon, Tycho's Academy kind of reminds me of like Ender's Game.
Yeah, but he didn't go to Tycho.
Well,
Important fact.
Oh.
that's fair. But like that's what I was imagining. It was kind of like Ender's Game style. Like, you know, I was brought in at age 6 to be trained into like this military commander sort of thing. But yeah. So I think there's like a little bit of resentment to Xavier because they disappeared on him, and it's like I didn't have anyone else. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then everyone else disappeared.
Then everyone else disappeared.
Oh, no.
But that is this week's penultimate episode. I will tell you, next week we are going to be doing the finale of Starblade Battalion Memories. And I will give our audience at home this hint. I told all of my players to review mech combat for next week.
Yes.
But hi all, you know me, and I'm going to let my wonderful players tell you where you can find them this week, and then also maybe share some love, some love with this cast, because it's a wonderful cast and I love you all. So why don't we start with hey Aurelia, how you doing?
Oh, doing good. I've got some ideas for Mr. Skeezy Lorian, Messer McGee over there. If, he dares to show his face after that humiliation and his goons getting gone. But I'm sure he'd love to speak with my husband, who sounds like he might be arriving. So, hopefully maybe there'll be something that happens with that, because, ooh, she don't like this. She's like, oh, no, first off, you can't dress. Your fashion sense is terrible. Secondly, what have you done to her? This is not how my roommate was. Holding you responsible. And also, of course, just so many good things. Like, the twists of, like, this is weird, something's off, and oh my gosh, he's almost getting stabbed, and then, oh, I just loved it. I loved it so much, and of course the setting was set so perfectly, so beautifully and perfectly with the hotels, the onsen, which thankfully we got to use before all of this happened. We might need it afterwards, depending on whether or not this hotel survives. Because we still have rooms here, just because maybe the wedding doesn't happen doesn't mean we can't stay. Anyways, yeah, just love for everyone and all their little twisty, turny dramas that we're all going through and experiencing, because there's just too much. There's too much. We only have one episode left. I can't. How are they gonna wrap all this up? I don't know. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I play and GM a lot of tabletop RPGs. There will be Dungeons and Dragons next Monday and Tuesday, Wanderlust and Wildmount and Mr. Ravenloft. They're not heads in jars anymore. They got out of their jars and they put their heads back on, and I made them roll to see if they got them on straight, and they all did. So they're not even like crooked or have cricks in their necks. It's great. And they're trusting an imp to lead them around Azalin's castle. It's great. It's gonna be fine. So you should tune in for that. Unfortunately, there won't be anything for me aside from that, I don't believe. Especially not on the weekend of July 4th. I'm real busy that week. That's a busy weekend for me. But just follow me because I post what I'm doing, or at least retweet it. It'll be great. It'll be fun.
And then, thank you, Lindy. And then directly below Lindy, hi, Pope. How are you?
Myself and my character are experiencing so much logical and emotional whiplash right now. I am almost separated from myself to have another self. Jamie Madrox, look out. There's about to be another multiple man. But on that note, there was so much. Hi, Dad. Hi, son. Here's a stiletto. That was a thing. I feel so bad for Vantage. Poor girl just can't get a break. Ever.
Or answers.
Break or answers. There is none. Oh, almost nail biting with that entire thing, and walking fashion crime. If I ever see him again, there will not be words. There will just be a number of noises and then crumpling. But aside from that, I'm just so pleased that things are resolving. Alex is getting to someplace safer, and hopefully the rest of the Rossi kids are too. We'll find out. Tune in next week. As for me, hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. If you want to see more of this ridiculous face, there's a number of opportunities coming up next, 9:30 p.m. Eastern over on Matt's F7's channel. We are back with Masks Sunset City. There's been a lot of upheaval there, a little more telegraphed, but still same amount of upheaval. We'll see if the Mythids can help Magnus out in becoming worthy enough to lift Mjolnir if they survive tangling with the Doomaroo. If you want to understand that sentence, tune in and find out. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Matt F7. And then, as we just had the season finale for Spy Game Hexcrawl earlier today, taking a bit of a break there, but come back around the horn here Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. to see the grand conclusion of this all and maybe get some answers. I am so confused right now. Thank you all for watching, where it's live VOD, YouTube, wherever you are, a story is nothing without its audience, and you are much part of this as we are. Thank you all so much. And if you've gotten this far over on YouTube, put in the comments hashtag confused. Hashtag confused. Love you all. See you soon.
Indeed, we will see you very soon. Next up, the wonderful, the fabulous, hey PB, how you doing? How you feeling?
Hi. I'm sure it'll definitely translates to video because there's a portion there where I was super excited. I've been so excited about this Rowan meeting his family storyline since we came up with it, like during character creation. I've been so excited for that to finally, come to a head. And then for it to come to this kind of head was shocking to say the least. That like you could visibly see me being like, what the fuck? And then when Xavier the open comm to Watcher, I was just like, what the fuck? It was like just a lot of me just being like on stream. Also, I'm only like mildly disappointed I didn't get to yell at my sister. But
There's still plenty of opportunity for next time,
Yeah.
True.
The thing is, your sister may not have been the one who sent you those emails or pictures.
It's true. Which just makes me more angry. But yes, if Lorian ever comes close to me or my family ever again, not only do I know some phenomenal lawyers, not only do I know them, I know some people who know some phenomenal lawyers, but also if he ever comes close to me or Alex again, I have a beautiful Bowie knife that is on my person almost always that would love to separate him from his future lineage. So
I'll hurt him emotionally and socially, and you can hurt him physically. I like this plan. Next week, let's do it.
Exactly. But yeah, that was so great. That like I had an idea coming into this where the story was gonna go, and man, did it not go that way. But it was so much better. I'm so excited for next week. I'm PB at PB Plays Inside. You can find me everywhere. I'm not doing anything aside from this show right now. So go support all these other beautiful people to make up for the fact that I'm not doing anything right now.
You are indeed a wonderful, fabulous person who you should totally follow because PB is great. But then next up, hi, Eddie. How'd you like meeting your parents again?
Hey, long lost parents. That was great. For all of 2 seconds. Then became like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Was it
What the
great?
fuck?
Was it great for like
What the
those
fuck?
seasons, or was it just like what the fuck right off the bat?
No. I mean, it was like that moment of like, oh, thank God they're alive. To like, wait, why? Where have they been all this time? To, oh shit, my mom has collapsed. To, what the fuck is my dad doing? Yeah, no, it was great. It was a roller coaster of emotions, and I hope the audience enjoyed it as much as I did, because I too. This is one of the main reasons why I petitioned Vantage to have Rowan as their escort, because I wanted this meta drama so much, and I'm so pleased, so pleased. As a player, when we were creating these characters, like we had this inkling of an idea that we were interconnected in some weird way because my parents had vanished, and could not be happier with the results.
Now one of them just tried
This is
to like cut
fine.
you.
It's fine. Everything's fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
Hence the background.
And where can we find you this week?
Oh, right. Oh my
Around
God.
the internets.
Well, I'm going to visit my family next week for all the things, but you can find me on the internet. Well, I'll post occasionally, but maybe not next week. On Pixel. Wow, I'm still in shock. On Pixel Knitter, on most most platforms. And yeah, I play in this lovely game, which we're gonna be having the penultimate next week. I'm very excited.
No. Next week is the ultimate. This week was the penultimate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that's what I meant to say. I will be remote out of my lovely sister's home, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I also play in a MechWarrior Destiny campaign, which, by the way, we faced that nightmare the first time. My mech was basically not obliterated, but like melted with LRM fire for like most of the battle. So that was fun. Our opposing antagonist is notorious for being an expert MechWarrior player, so we are in for a fight. It's gonna be great. But that's on AP Gaming Reel, and I play that every Sunday, except for next week, but there's a game this weekend, but next weekend there isn't because 4th of July. So yeah, you can catch up on the seasons, and we're gonna have some. Actually, there might not be one this week too. But either way, there's a lot to watch. So go ahead and look it up. AP Gaming Reels Oath of End of Steel is the campaign that we're playing, and it's us playing nobles doing crazy stuff with nobility, currently in an invasion from the Draconis Combine, trying to defend off an overwhelming force. So crazy stuff, and that's what I've been doing.
All the great things to do, but we should
the mechs.
All the mechs. We should check in on the other half of this fictional siblings. Hey, Lynn, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling great. I've been waiting for this reveal the entire time, and this is more than I expected from it. I love it so much. I'm like, you know what? It's like it's like when it's like, who do you want to? Should you take Rex to the media? It's like, let's just do it. Let's get right to it. Let's make this awkward. And it's, you know what? Vantage has absolutely no goddamn idea what the hell is going on. People fainted. People got real tense. And then Blades came out, and people are trying to like get her out of the thing without asking her what's happening. What's happening? You know, mentor, what's happening, brother, dad? Why is mom faint? When did mom faint? What's going on? And then soon Watcher's gonna show up like, what are you doing here?
And who's this Rowan character that my mentor? What?
What happened? I should have brought Rustlin. That's what. But I'm like, oh god, what's this floor is like, just like wild right now because what's happening on with the sisters is like, what the hell is going on? What's happening? I'm so happy we're gonna we're all like wound up. Something's gonna explode. We're gonna have mechs. I'm just gonna be very happy. Everyone's gonna get like this whatever like tension they have by blowing up some robots. So we'll see. But yeah, thanks you. This has been wonderful. But yeah, I'm Lynn, Flanksters on Twitter, everyplace else. Catch my art and the games I'm in, and next on Saturdays, on Wandering DM for our Scion game, we're gonna have, I think this the final time, we're gonna have the entire crew back, so we're all gonna touch base, recover from our narrowly successful art theft, which we had probably no business trying to do. If we didn't have supernatural powers, we would have 100% been arrested in Japan for stealing armor. So, heck yeah. And we just got done with spy game on Black Cats. Murder Mom and Dad got into some deep undercover espionage. People did die. There was a car crash, and there was a lot of stuff happening. A lot of like, ooh. And you know what? Next time, Friday on Leaf Tale, it's gonna be Dragon Age Nightingale's Crown.
Oh yeah,
where,
I'm in that too.
Yes. Yes, so we will be on having some good Dragon Age. I'll be playing a just this strong pirate lady with a big giant like berserk style sword. So I'm very happy. I didn't play mage, which would be my normal drive, but I can't do that. I can't. Yeah, I can't take that from where my game is into like another thing. So I need to change it up.
I would just like to tell you that if you, I need to point out that there is Dragon Age is a wonderful system. I fully support it. It is all the fun. Plus, if you don't know, there is 3 seasons of Dragon Age over on the Search for Anders over on Wandering DM. Go look for it because it brought you beautiful art from Lynn, by the way, one of my personal favorite character art ever. Also, just a couple things. Thorny on Main is a thing, y'all.
Oh my god.
And that's why I said
god. Oh no. It's great.
And as for me, hey y'all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter or Praxigo with Esme4. You see me around here on Twitch. Your friendly neighborhood Prax. Thank you everyone for playing tonight. Thank you chat for being here. Thank you YouTube. We see you. We appreciate you. We see all the comments and everything. I try and comment on most of them. But as for me, you will not see me on Friday because there's a holiday in Canada, so no Cyberpunk this week, but there will be Cyberpunk next week. But Sunday, back here, unfortunately we didn't have Cecilia's one-shot last Sunday because of complications, but this Sunday instead will be Vishard's one-shot flashback episode. A war with Kern can bring so many things to a young man and his wolf.
There a content warning?
I think there might be a content warning. I didn't come up with that one, Pope. That just happened.
It did. It was during my episode in Kern.
Mm-hmm. And if you haven't seen any of those flashback episodes as we get ready for season 2 of Romance of the Blue Rose, you can find them all on YouTube. A lot of fun was had, and there were some tears, and we have confirmed that as great as Aislinn is, best boy will always be Carnage. Carnage is best boy. And we will see you Wednesday for the finale of Romance of the Blue Rose. Or not Romance of the Blue Rose, of Starblade Battalion Memories. I can't even remember. It's Wednesday, y'all. But until then, have a good day. Oh, we should raid somebody. Let me go find somebody to raid.
We could do that. It's a thing that people do.
You know, it's a thing. I try and share love. I feel like we should share love. Let's see, who can we... Let's go... Let's go raid Myth.
I was just gonna suggest Myth.
We should go raid Myth. Because, you know, Mythomatic is great. But we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.